Welcome to the Candid Athletic Training Podcast.
Hi, Kevin.
I got a mouthful of Starburst jelly beans. They're pretty good.
Big fan.
Good. One of your favorites.
Any candy. Sweet tooth.
Hey,
Easter time.
foreshadowing. Candy bar. Candy bar. Candid bar. Candid bar? Candy bar. Foreshadowing. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm still awake.
Still awake. He's upright. It's about as best as we can ask for with Kevin.
Little guy at home, multiple businesses. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. There was a great. I told somebody today it feels like I'm a little behind the eight ball all the time. And they're like, wow. It sounds like you're a parent and part of entrepreneurship, which is so true.
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneurship. Still can't spell that word. Yeah, I'm doing all right, though. I mean, as you can see behind us, if you're on the live stream, this lovely space that I have created is rocking and rolling and having a fun time with it, getting back into like more of the rehab and kind of getting around with workouts. What?
More foreshadowing.
Jeez, I'm on fire today.
You're on foreshadow fire. Is that a
where
thing?
there's shadows, there's fires? I don't know.
We do have a very fun show for you. This is episode 210.
210.
I think I shouldn't say I'm not excited for all our shows, but I don't know why I am especially. I just think tonight's show is going to have a lot of fun conversation. So I'm looking forward to tonight's show. Maybe a little extra.
Booyah.
So happy International Women's Day to all the female athletic trainers out there. Yeah. Kudos to you. Thank you for what you do.
Thanks. The ladies, the women.
Yeah. Representing the profession well. You guys deserve a day.
Better than we are.
Yep. It's March. It's National Athletic Training Month. The first week of it on social media has been good. I know, Kevin, you're not on social media as much.
I'm trying a little bit.
A lot of strong posts about promoting the profession. So
good.
Kudos to everybody out there for
good
doing it. Now, I will say this.
Doing it.
Part of it's like you're promoting it to the people that already know you and follow you, so they know what you do. So how do we promote it to people that don't follow us? How do we just...
That's a good point.
I guess if you get the people that you follow to retweet or to share what you're posting, then maybe they're people who don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a dream. It's like Inception.
Ooh. Confusing movie to many people, just like the profession of athletic training.
Shout out to Aaron for being a woman. Yes.
Shout out to Aaron for being the first on the old podcast tonight.
Yeah.
Welcome, Brandon. Good to have you
Brandon.
as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, really fun episode. We got. We are going to announce. It's official. We have a new sponsor.
Woo.
So we're gonna save that for just slightly a few minutes from now.
Yeah. Let's tease them.
But let's thank our regulars.
Yeah.
So our best friends, the official sponsor of the Candid Athletic Training podcast. I was going to say the official sponsor of the Candid Athletic Training Room. Well, Candid Athletic Training podcast is Healthy Roster. So Healthy Roster, you can check them out at healthyroster.com. They are the best EMR in the world. We were hoping to have Dan and or Nathan on to talk some fat bracket. They do have some family commitments tonight, so they will not be joining us tonight, but they do. Dan wants to come on a couple times here in April and talk to us, and of course we would love to talk to him.
Anytime.
So again, check them out at healthyroster.com. They are the official sponsor of Candid Athletic Training Podcast. Thank you to Smart Tools 10% off anything at Smart Tools using the Candid 10 code. It's less than a month till they do a CEU course for our members of our show. So if you're a member of Candid Athletic Training Podcast, there should be an email saying when we are having it, and we're going to the first week of April, I believe.
No, it's
technically the second week.
Yeah, no, I think it's
Is it the 7th?
April 3rd.
Oh yeah, you're right. We had to move it the 13th.
Yeah. April 13th.
There's going to be an email if you're a member of the show. Join us for
which is a Thursday.
An exclusive 1-hour course on BFR. You're gonna get all your BFR questions answered. So thank you to Smart Tools and Ed.
And there's going to be continuing ed associated with that, right?
Yeah, you're gonna get one CEU. You're gonna get one CEU just for being a member of our show.
So yeah, head over to smarttoolsplus.com and check them out.
Thank you to Human Kinetics. 20% off anything at Human Kinetics using the Candid CEU code. We just gave away another course, and we have one more, I believe, to give away. Kevin's got that information, so hopefully
we actually have 2 more.
Oh, we have two more to give away. So Erin's building furniture while she's watching this. Good for you.
That is amazing.
Again, thanks to Human Kinetics, and then lastly, thanks to Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus, one of the newer sponsors to our show. I'm going to throw this graphic up here. Discounted rates for athletic training members. If you're a member of the Candid Athletic Training Podcast, you can get a discounted rate on your professional liability and general liability insurance. Students $59, part-time employed people $89, full-time employed $179. If you're self-employed part-time, it's $299, and if you're full-time self-employed, $624. So,
and I can't emphasize this so much how much cheaper that is than the competition. Protect yourselves, everybody. And you know what? Double it up. Get yourself some general liability with that. Double wrap your coverage.
Double wrap your coverage, always. So those are our sponsors up to this point.
Yeah.
We're going to announce the next one in just a few minutes. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the Fat Bracket. We're going to deep dive the Fat Bracket a little bit. We announced all the people last week. If you're listening to this, again, you have until March 15th. What did we say here? I got it right here.
I think the 14th is the show that we are going
March 14th.
Yep.
You have until March 14th to get your bracket turned in. Email it to us at candidathletictraining@gmail.com. They are flying in already, but you have a little bit less than a week. So that's fun. Do that because it's fun. We'll talk about the Fat Bracket in a little bit. We've got a top 5 that I think is going to lead to some good discussion. We have a very on-brand FMK tonight that Kevin doesn't know about.
Ooh, on brand, huh?
Yeah. And then really, I think it's going to be a featured topic that will help a lot of ATs. So we're looking forward to that. You got anything else? Yes, Aaron, your brackets have made it through the emails.
I was gonna say, Aaron is dominating right now she just keeps submitting more and more brackets, which is amazing. Keep it up, Aaron.
Yeah. You're good?
I think I'm good.
Let's do the shenanigans.
All right.
What's so funny?
Just that Aaron just wrote in, I yelled at everyone about Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, she was texting me about it. It was like they were having a hardcore discussion about whether Lightning McQueen would make a good athletic trainer or not, and she's all about it.
Nice.
I had a really tough time.
Yeah, you
with
just
Lightning
filled yours out.
I haven't even made it all the way through. I'm like 90% of the way through. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more matchups out of 60 some to do.
I'm gonna wait until everybody submits theirs, and then I'm gonna pick all mine.
Pick the winners.
Conveniently, it's gonna be the ones that advance every single week.
Yeah, it should be.
I'm gonna stack the deck. You guys can't stop.
I'm not gonna lie. I honestly went with who I thought would be the best athletic trainer,
Not the popular pick.
Not the popular pick. I'm not trying to outguess the competition. So I'm gonna be very heartbroken after round 1. I bet because I've got some strong opinions. Yeah.
Oh, the Dembe.
Dembe losing in round 1 was the ultimate dagger into my soul.
Live in infamy.
Yeah, I had some fun discussions. But do you want to just start with the Fat Bracket talk?
Go for it, yeah.
Let's do it. Let's start with our Fat Bracket talk. So I was at work today talking to our friend Will George. Longtime friend of the show. We were discussing, he was filling out his bracket, I was filling out mine. We had a lot of very similar. We had a lot of the same.
Yeah.
But then we got to a few and we were literally just being like, well, what do you think about this one? And we could make arguments for both sides, and it was really fun. And that's exactly why we do this Fat Bracket. Maybe you think it's silly.
It is.
However, that's the whole point. Yeah, that's the whole point. And it's like, if you're listening to this and you haven't done a Fat Bracket and you don't know what it is, we just have like a March Madness style bracket on our website, candidathletictraining.com. You go to the website, you print it out, give it to just a couple of your athletes and ask them to fill it out. Who do you think would make the best athletic trainer and why? And then let it go. Let the fun begin, because that's when people are going to start arguing and making these points, and you're like, shit. The fun part is when somebody says something, you're like, oh, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Because there's no right or wrong. This is all opinion.
Yeah.
All of these characters have pros and cons, just like athletic training profession, and that's why we do it. So it's really fun.
This is the 4th one.
It's really good.
The 4th.
Soon we're going to be able to, you could take the top 4 from each of the 4 years and then make it top 16.
What's 4 times 64?
4 times 64 is 260. 256.
256.
64 plus 64 is 128. Double that is 256.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what other math that goes in? It's like megabytes, like hard drives.
Yeah.
512, 256, 64, 32.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, must be something about the number 64.
So here's my
250. God, what is it? 256?
256. Yeah.
256
person bracket.
I guess
it'd be like the movie 300.
Do you think on the?
Imagine how small the font would have to be.
Oh my god.
The lines.
Well, I was just thinking, 5-year anniversary. We have the whole, all 5 brackets built into one. That would be insane.
We can try it next year.
Let's do it.
All right. So you have not done yours.
Yeah.
But do you have a bracket in front of you? You've got it in front of you. Okay.
Let's pulled up.
And if you're on the live stream, I want you guys to answer these too, because most of you who are on the live stream have done this. Let's just start with this. Best first round matchup.
Best first round matchup.
Yeah, the one you're most excited, maybe intrigued by. It's hardest for you to kind of decide. Best first round matchup if you're on the live stream.
Right away in the top left bracket, the Northwest region, I am very intrigued with Lurch and the Incredible Hulk.
Interesting.
I think you can make arguments for both, and just the fact that it's just two ginormous, beings, probably green. They just make. They're just so. I love that matchup.
I think for me, I think that's a tough one. Lurch. No, actually, I think I have that one. I think my person will lose.
Yeah.
But I have Lurch. Moving on. But I think he's going to lose in the first round. I don't think people really get it. I think they'll just go, "Oh yeah, Marvel."
I don't know.
There's a Marvel bias here.
There's always a Marvel bias.
For me, my favorite first round matchup is Uncle Phil versus Coach Beard.
I was just looking at that one.
And you have not seen Ted Lasso yet, but you're close, because I think the season 3 comes out next week, and you said you were just waiting to binge it.
Yep. It's on my list of the next thing to binge.
That is for sure the hardest first round matchup for me.
All right.
I have, and I'll say this, the more I think about it, I think Coach Beard,
Uncle Phil,
is going to. Uncle Phil will win because nobody will truly think about who makes the best athletic trainer. It's like, who do you like more?
Right.
Coach Beard, to me, one thing really stood out, and I kept coming back to the same thing. He is so good at anticipating what's going to happen, and like he will have, like, he'll be like, Coach Lasso will be walking up to him, and he'll just have the coffee because he knows he needs a coffee. Like, he's just really good at anticipating.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, I think the other one, Kyle just said wine versus Sprite is a very interesting matchup too.
I was gonna say that one too.
That's real, the spritzers. Ooh, this is so much fun. I can't one. Coach Beard, Aaron's got Coach Beard going deep in this thing. Ooh. That's what she said. Man, there's some fun ones. Okay.
I love Negan and Christina Yang.
Okay, too. I don't know any Walking Dead, so for me, I could, all three of the Walking Dead, like, I can't speak to that, so I went against all three of them, and I'm sure that will bite me in the rear, and that's okay. Which a lot of people said that this year, I think we kind of went a little bit more obscure in some of the shows and stuff. Maybe not as popular as like all the Marvel and all the whatever stuff. Like,
yeah, I mean, let's face it.
So there's a lot of.
We've gone through a lot of Marvel characters.
We've
gone through a lot of comic book characters.
We've gone
through a lot of even just mainstream media, like, I mean, just characters.
Yeah,
it's
the nitty gritty.
We're in it. The good thing is that people keep making content that we can feed off of.
All right, how about this, Kevin?
Yeah.
Give me a 10 seed or lower, 10 seed or worse. When I say lower, that means a bigger number.
Yeah.
A worse team that you think has the best chance to advance.
Well, can I do 2?
You can do as many as you want. I mean, if you think there are multiple low seeds that are going to win, by all means.
I 100% went straight for the 11 seed of lacrosse ball.
Oh, that was one of the conversations Will and I spent like 10 minutes on today. Like talking, that's lacrosse ball versus flats, right?
Yeah.
We literally debated that one for like 10 minutes at work. We're like, well, I think we had a difference of opinion on that.
I'm going to say this. Lacrosse ball, pretty simple tool. I don't think there's much to it, but at the same time, gets a lot of jobs done.
Sure.
For the simplicity of it. But I just think, name an athletic trainer that you know that hasn't implemented a lacrosse ball into at some point their treatment, or is there's not a lacrosse ball in their bag.
I damn near lived with one.
Right? And then my other was, and I think this is really tough, I think it's going to be a really hard matchup for a lot of people's brains, but Maximus, another 11 seed, Maximus and Robin Hood. I think there's a big love out there for the nonstop getting to your goal, lifelong mission that Maximus has to honestly put people on his back to get back home. The caring nature with the ferocity that he does it with. I think people love Maximus. They love him. And it's a great movie. So I have this weird feeling that Robin Hood might not make it through the first round.
I don't know. You got 2 live streamers who says they got Maximus winning. One who says
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I think for me, the one that is probably going to win, I think has the best chance of winning, will be Alex Karev He's a 10 seed going up against a 7 seed Fresh Prince.
Bel Air.
I think Alex probably will win based on medical background, but I'm not,
Sure.
and because I think Will Smith's getting canceled.
I mean, yeah.
But deep down,
Remember, it's the character of Fresh Prince, not
it's
Will
the character.
Smith.
Correct. But if I look at my bracket, there are a couple. I've got a couple double-digit seeds that I think are going to go deep in this tournament. And I think they'll both be out round one, and that's where I'm going to get really pissed off. One, I have Coach Beard going a couple rounds, and he's a 13 seed. Sure. That's number one. The other one that I think should, I actually have them right now in my Final Four. In my Final Four, I have a 15 seed in my Final Four.
Oh, my.
The sit-down restaurant.
Oh, God.
I have the sit-down restaurant. And I don't know how far they might advance further than that. I haven't completed my bracket, but right now, Sit Down Restaurant is coming out of the wacky Southeast.
I think that's your. I mean, you breed, live and breathe is what I meant to say.
I breed restaurants. Let's hope so, because then I'll be bankrolling.
You live and breathe of the service industry.
Well, let me just pitch
Love it.
Let me just pitch my argument here.
Sure, go for it.
The sit-down restaurant, right? It's been around for a long time, and it's not going anywhere.
No.
Okay? It's stable.
It tried.
It's stable.
COVID tried kicking it out. It came back strong.
You have sit-down restaurants that are open 24 hours. Available. Availability.
Most of them are called diners.
Yeah. So I need to, that whole let's lay out anything you need, that concierge service. That's what a sit-down restaurant is. So I kept going back to that. The availability, the flexibility, I'll lay out all the options and you can kind of get what you need.
Yeah.
It's a wide array of things. So I personally feel like it is a really, really good, strong candidate. The other one that I think has a chance to win. Yeah. And I didn't pick it.
What?
Mufasa is a 14 seed over Starlight.
Mufasa. Yeah. Did you watch the movie again?
No, I haven't yet. I got till next week. Maybe when I'm on vacation this weekend. So.
Love it.
Lacrosse ball is the only low seed that Nate has going. Kevin, hi from your team meal. Take a picture, send it to us. Okay, next question, Kevin. Let's talk about the 1s versus 16s. Mm-hmm. I think this is fun. We kind of grouped the 16 seeds as Dale and Brennan from Step Brothers with Ron Burgundy, and we threw baseball players in there.
They would be very honored to be in that group, I think.
All very, very, very popular characters.
Very popular characters.
Do I think they would make good athletic trainers? Absolutely not. In your opinion, do any of them really have a chance at winning?
I mean, we got baseball players against mashed potatoes. That's tough. That is really tough. I don't think that's going to be an easy fight for the baseball player.
It's not going to be easy?
I don't.
Oh.
I really don't. Dale Doback against Matt Murdock. Let's just say this. If Dale makes it through, there's
biggest upset in Candid Fat Bracket history. Even more than Dembe losing.
Now, Burgundy against Ted Lasso. Obviously, Burgundy would make a very poor athletic trainer. But I think both of those characters live in this lore of just funny, love them, quote them, live and breathe again. I use that euphemism maybe. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's what it is. To describe something. I really think Ron Burgundy is your best chance of a 16 seed making it through against your Ted Lasso.
Interesting.
Now, I've never watched the show, but from the clips, I feel like they're similar.
After you watch the show, yeah, I think people who don't vote, or people who have never seen Ted Lasso, will have a higher chance of just saying, "Oh, I like Ron Burgundy."
Yeah.
If you have watched the show, there's 0% chance you will vote for Ron Burgundy.
What's interesting is if Ron Burgundy makes it to the second round,
he's going to win again.
There's not a lot saying, well, no chance he can't make it through the second, or no chance he's not going to make it through the third.
If he makes it through the first, he might go deep in the tournament. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One of those. Might make it all the way to the Elite Eight. I could see it. What do you got? Give me your 16 seed that might just make it through.
I kind of agree that just based on name, Ron Burgundy has probably the best chance. Although when it comes to baseball players versus mashed potatoes, that whole bracket, you never know who's going to win. It's such a wild card, which is actually one of the coolest things about the fat bracket to me.
Absolutely.
Is like, in real sporting events, it's like you have a feel, and there are upsets, but there's nothing like bless you. There's nothing like the Southeast bracket in the fat bracket where anything goes. It's a complete crapshoot.
100%. I mean, there is a nonstop Southeast bracket. Like, you could make a case for each one. The difference between the 1 and the 10 seed, the 2 and the 16, I mean, it is very difficult to rank that lower right bracket.
All right, next question.
Yes, sir.
What potential second round matchup is most intriguing to you? And I'll go first. I got two.
Please.
I got two. The hardest matchup in this bracket to me, and I'm just assuming that I'm going to get him right in the first round, and I don't know if that's going to be the case, is Robin Hood versus Cassian Andor. Robin Hood being like my favorite childhood character, one of my favorite childhood characters, versus Cassian Andor, which I thought was the best show of last year. Both hard workers, both like kind of doing it for the right. I mean, Robin Hood kind of has a lot of good qualities. Cassian Andor is kind of like will do anything at all costs. I have a hard time with that matchup. In fact, I picked things all around it, and I'm like, I just don't know where I'm going to go with Cassian Andor versus Robin Hood. The other one, and I don't. Again, this one is shaky. Potential matchup as well. In the Northwest bracket, you could end up with a Benoit Blanc from Glass Onion versus Starlight.
True.
That's very intriguing to me.
Okay.
I don't know who I have picked a winner in that, but I could see it going either way. Then again, I could see both of those people losing in the first round.
True.
But it's a really intriguing matchup to me.
Yeah, I think they're both just unknown enough characters that the masses might vote the other way. I also think that creates a very good matchup in that very investigative, obviously. I mean, basically Benoit is a private investigator. And then you got Starlight. I mean, she's a
sweetheart.
She's the like the moral compass almost of all of these.
It's a great
like anti-heroes, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
But the problem is she's like a slightly gullible or slightly like naive at first.
Sure. Yeah.
Now she learns a little bit, and that gets kind of rubbed off. What's kind of cool about her is she ends up being that character that puts her foot down and says, "No, this is who I am.
No,
let's go. Let's fucking deal with it."
So true.
Which would make a good athletic trainer.
I got the Battle of the Queens. Oliver versus
that's a good
Lightning.
One. That is another one. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah, and I think
that was the actual matchup in when we talked about it.
Yeah. And I don't know if we said it, but they're both characters that are, I guess, incredibly self-centered, like really, I don't need anybody else in life, to working as a team eventually and realizing numbers our strength, and there is a value in relying on others even. And so I think that's going to create a very, very interesting matchup.
Yeah, I agree. That's a very intriguing one. Do you feel like anybody was seated or disrespected?
Oh, hell no.
Because you and I did the seating, but I'm getting here and I'm like, yeah, fucking sit down restaurants as a 15 seed.
I know.
There's so many positive qualities. What were we thinking?
I don't know. Just throwing it out there for the people. See what they vote for. I mean, I think I wouldn't go back and reseed only because it's pretty
painstaking.
It's kind of fun when we do it.
Yeah.
Right. And then to really think about the value or the level from 1 to 16 of these groups of fat participants, it's not like they had a competition before it, really, because none of them are actually playing for a seed. I just think there ends up being the MacGyvers of the world, that it's just like, I mean, that is a number 1 seed. This year, more than any other year, I think was very open. I think we both struggled at times, but also said, let's not overthink it, right? But, yeah.
It's hard not to overthink this because we have no idea. Nobody knows what any of it is. All right, last one.
Yeah.
Well, here, Kyle Rutledge said his toughest second-round matchup would be mac and cheese versus breaded chicken. I would be really upset because that would mean sit-down restaurants would be out in the first round, and I have them in the final 4. But I agree that would be a very tough.
Yeah, that was
mac and cheese versus breaded chicken would be a very tough second-round matchup.
I even thought mac and cheese versus a sit-down restaurant. That's tough. Those are 2 tough competitors right there.
Well, ipso facto, the mac and cheese goes in the restaurant, so the restaurant trumps it.
But is the restaurant any good without the mac and cheese?
Yeah.
Oh. Any other matchups?
No, I think those are the fun ones. I mean, well, as we progress, like when we meet next week, we'll be into second round matchups, potential third round matchups. So I think that'll be fun. We'll talk about those.
Good call, Nate.
What did he say?
He said if Dale Doback goes through, it means that people didn't know Matt Murdock is Daredevil. I guess meaning his secret identity is safe.
It's good. He's done a nice job of.
I mean, maybe Matt Murdock's like, hey, listen, I don't need to. I'm good. I'm good. Don't be telling everybody who I am.
I think Matt Murdock is got a chance to win this thing.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I think. I don't know. I don't think enough comic book hero. I don't think there's enough comic book people out there to maybe put. Well, I take that back. Every year we've got Marvel and the champions. All right, last one, and then we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 4 regions, which do you think is the strongest?
Oh, tough to not vote for the Southeast. From the standpoint of, I really do think the difference between number 1 and number 16 is really not that much.
Yeah. But can somebody from that bracket win the whole thing? Really? When you get down to it, will you ever vote for something out of that bracket over a person where you know the character?
I got to go with the Northeast. I mean, Obi-Wan, Miyagi, Uncle Phil. I mean, you're making cases for Coach Beard, Robin Hood, Maximus, Cassian, Simba, Negan. I think that's a pretty strong quadrant. On that, I think people are going to sweat picking those.
Yeah, I don't know what the toughest one is. I like characters in each of them. I've got one character going pretty deep that I think most people will surprise.
Surprised me. Not so deep. Jeez.
That's not what she said.
No, never heard that one in my life.
Yeah, I think I have to. agree with you. I think when you get into in that bracket, you've got Roy Kent as a 10. We haven't talked about him, but he could win. Your 11 seed, Maximus, 12 seed, Black Adam. I don't see any of them winning, but you could make arguments. But like the top 9, sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll be very the whole thing is intriguing to me, but I'll agree with that. All right.
What's next?
Do you want to do our top 5 or you want to do our FMK?
Top 5.
Let's do our top 5. Kevin, we asked 100 athletic trainers.
Yeah.
How many national anthems have you heard?
Well, 1, 4, 10, 206, and then 2.
How many do you think you've heard? 162 times.
No.
How many years? Oh, you weren't out there to hear them all?
So I totally did this. How many national anthems have you heard? Just the United States?
Oh, you're saying different varieties.
Yeah, that's what I went for.
Well, that was on my thing to talk about is
Interesting.
people went how many times have you heard the national anthem?
I'm going to revote.
But that did come up. Like,
yeah,
people would put this many different national anthems, but this many times.
And I basically went 1, just United States.
Yeah.
4, just a random number. 10, because maybe you've done some traveling for sports that
the Olympics,
whatever. Well, I did 206 because that's how many countries are eligible for the Olympics, and maybe you went to the opening ceremonies and you heard every single one of them. And then 2, because I think most Americans have been around when the Canadian national anthem has been played. But how many national anthems have I heard?
Yeah.
United States national anthems. I'm gonna go number 1, 0. Just for fun. Number 2. 15,000. Then I'm going to go 982. And then I'm going to go 162. And I think I have one more. 12. Just came to me.
So somebody replied, I don't see how this is relevant.
Yeah.
And respectfully, I couldn't disagree anymore. Part of the job is covering the events, and
I don't see how that's what they responded was. I don't see how this is relevant.
Yeah, which is fine. That's your opinion.
All right.
I completely disagree. I do think it is.
It's part of sports.
Yeah, covering. Well, all right. So here's the question. Did you hear every national anthem of every game that you had to work?
No.
Or so you would be in the dugout or down in the ATR while the national anthem was going off, so you didn't?
100% I was not out for every national anthem. I got out for as many as I could, particularly in the minor leagues. In the major leagues, I was, 99% of the time, I was not out there for the start of the game. So
sure.
I was back doing rehabs.
So if you had the ballpark, if you had to guess how many you've heard, what do you think it would be?
In my baseball career?
As an athletic trainer.
10 times 162 is 1620. I don't know. Actually, I would actually say 140 times 2 is 280. 350?
Sure.
Something like that.
I got like 14 years of 50 of them.
Yeah. Yup.
Plus soccer, plus I'm probably around 1,000 or so.
For sure.
But all right, so your top 5 answers this week. We had a tie for.
Did I ever tell you my national anthem story when I was in the minor leagues?
No, go for it. Controversy
like national anthem.
No, go. This is interesting.
Yeah, this is very interesting. First year in minor leagues. So, typical team goes out on the line for the national anthem. Like I said, I tried to be out for every national anthem.
You didn't know what to do with your hands?
Well, that's exactly what it was. I've always stood with my hands behind my back, still not doing anything but staring at the flag during the national anthem. That's what I've always done. I have literally never put my hand on my heart. And I was posted on our minor league Facebook page. It was zoomed in on me that I was anti-American and that I was basically disrespecting the flag, and I was
by a fan?
Yeah, by a fan.
So a fan who wasn't taking pictures during the national anthem?
Correct. So legitimately I get this email from the GM of the team, and it says, "Hey, before you see this, I want to talk to you about it, blah, blah, blah." And he comes down, and he's like, "So, legitimately, nothing's wrong. We've found out who posted this and that, but it's me, hands behind my back, attention at the flag, and saying that I'm anti-American, I'm disrespecting the United States." Now, Biloxi, where I was, is actually very military-based area. And so my understanding at that time was that, because I've seen numerous ways that people pay attention to the flag during the national anthem. A lot of people hand over their heart, right? Take off your hat, hand over your heart. I've also seen military personnel, no hand on heart, arms at their sides, at attention. I've also seen people with their hands behind their back. And so I get blasted on social media, and this is really for one of the first times this has ever happened to me. And so I'm a little fired up, what the hell? And the reason I'm fired up is because I shit you not that no less than a week prior to this happening, we are in a team meeting, and my players were known for laughing during the national anthem, spitting out seeds, maybe other contraband, tobacco, things like that during the national anthem, talking to each other, and just not paying attention.
Sure.
And so I politely said, "Listen, you're in a military town. People are going to notice this. I also think it's very respectful to the country that you're playing in. Not necessarily that you have to believe all of its values, but it's very respectful to just not do anything. I'm not saying that you have to sing it. I'm not saying that you have to say, all hail the United States of America, but just let's not be spitting tobacco, seeds, laughing, things like that. People are going to take offense to it, and I think that's the last thing you want to do." And so I get blasted on social media because my hands were behind my back.
Sure.
And next to me in the picture, one of my players is going like this with, that looked funny, huh? With a bag of seeds during the national anthem, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. So the GM of the team goes, all right, we found out who it was because we looked on the cameras and we looked at the angle of somebody that would have to be taking a picture of you. Not only holding their phone up, taking a picture of me in the middle of the national anthem, but hat on and not paying attention to the national anthem.
Interesting.
So that's my national anthem story.
That's incredible.
And so what I found out, though, is that it's not necessarily a law or anything, but the guidelines for standing for the national anthem, I was right and also wrong. I just didn't know why I was wrong. And that, so for citizens in the United States, it is customary right hand over your heart during the national anthem. But if you are a military personnel, which I am not, and I'm not a veteran, I'm not nothing of the sort. When you are, I think it's when you're not on military grounds, or when you are on military grounds, I can't remember, you do not put your hand on your heart, because
interesting.
There's something about, like, it was like a sign. They were afraid that if somebody saw you with your hand on your heart and then they knew you were like a part of the military, that like somebody might lash out or something like that. It was something with that regards. So, needless to say, the slight rebel in me kept just keeping my hands behind my back, because I thought I was being very, very respectful. I don't necessarily think that my heart has anything to do with anything like my country. And I never heard from the guy again. And I hope I don't offend anybody with that.
That's wild.
I try to be as respectful as possible during all national anthems, but particularly ours.
Yeah, of course. All right. So we had a tie for fourth place. 4 people apiece said 600 anthems, and 4 other people said 5,000 anthems. We had in third place, 7 people said thousands, multiple thousands.
Thousands, not millions, but thousands.
And we had a tie for first place, 15 apiece. 15 people said 1,000 national anthems, and 15 people said too many to count.
Too many to count.
So,
yeah.
And then we had a whole lot of slew of answers that didn't make any sense. But so then we talked about it, like, how many different countries' anthems have you heard? So for me, it's just, while I'm working, just 2.
Mm-hmm. I think I've heard more than 2 working, I think. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Definitely Canadian.
So what do you think the total amount of time? I mean, that's a lot of time.
Gosh.
That's like...
There's actually something. How long is the national anthem? Is somewhere like 1 minute and 52 seconds or something? There's some number, and they use it as a barometer for the Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah. And I wanted to turn it into a friend or foe, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like standing out there. Or what's the best version of the national anthem you've ever heard?
Live?
No.
Well, one that stands out live, like just because that's where my brain went first. We had this kid in high school that was just like unreal on the trumpet. Like he like went off, like he left high school early to go to some fancy school in like New York to play trumpet, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" He did the national anthem for one of our high school basketball games, and I mean, I don't think there was a single person in that basketball arena or gym that was like not hairs standing on back of their neck. That one like really stands out. Best. I think the classics are out there Whitney Houston, right? You know, I can't one's not like necessarily standing out other than the really, really famous versions, Jimi Hendrix, you know, guitar and things like that.
Sure, that's a good one. I didn't think about that one.
I think what impresses me most is when people don't try to make it their own song.
Yeah.
I don't really care if you have a good voice to an amazing voice or a good at an instrument to an amazing at an instrument. Just, it's not your song to freaking change. And so don't hold notes for a really long time. Don't whatever. And then literally anything that has a timed flyover is just,
cool.
Man, gives you the chills every time.
For me, the one that stands out that I'll pull up on YouTube every once in a while and just watch is Marvin Gaye.
Oh, is that he messes it up, doesn't he, or something?
No, Marvin Gaye, he's like doing it during one of the the NBA All-Star games, and he turns it into like this. It's Marvin Gaye, you know. He's like getting down, and everyone's just. It's like a banger.
Fucking getting after it.
If you can sing the national anthem and people want to like do naughty things during the national anthem, you've won.
I want to do stuff
during the national. When Marvin Gaye is singing the national anthem, if you are like in the mood, you should YouTube it. YouTube Marvin Gaye national anthem, and you'll be like, he like takes it and he turns it into this like sultry like, oh yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, like maybe the little extra long commercial break.
Yeah.
After that,
everyone's like, all right, and then the game probably sucked because everyone's like, all right, Marvin was the highlight.
Who was
They're talking about
Carl Lewis.
They're talking about the bad ones, like the Roseanne, the Carl Lewis's, and he's screechy.
That's who I thought of was like Carl Lewis singing, and it was just awful. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
No.
I watched some of it.
I watched. We watched. Bennett wanted to watch like Blippi or something, or like Paw Patrol. We were watching some kids' TV, and I was the first time. It was like, this is the first time I haven't watched the Super Bowl in my entire life, and I went, I'm okay with it. Yeah, like why are sports like sports dominated my entire life, and now I'm realizing there's other things out there.
You bet your ass.
Like this podcast,
Absolutely.
like I want to make this great. I want to do this all the time. So anyways, that's our top 5.
Nice.
Mostly he's huge on Blippi Excavator. Like if you need a song to get stuck in your head, the Blippi Excavator song is stuck up there for like days on end, for me. And then, he'll watch Blippi Excavator, and he'll watch Blippi when he goes to the Arizona Diamondbacks baseball stadium.
Gotcha.
He loves that.
Some controversy happened with this Blippi guy, right?
So he started by himself.
Yeah.
And then he ended up having another person like kind of take over for him part-time. I don't know if they split it or if whatever. I think he just wanted to I guess I don't know. I do know that he's got 17 million viewers on YouTube, and he's got like 14 million views on YouTube. It's incredible.
Yeah. No,
the guy just goes through all these like fun things and videotapes it. It's great. It's like a content creator delight.
He's 32-year-old trying to be a kid, or literally act like a kid, and people like, I'm gonna put my
you're
kid
familiar
watches.
with it, huh?
Not with my kid, but like when I'm around other little tykes that are like Bennett's age.
Sure.
I mean, they love it. They love it.
And he learns, so I think
I'm a little creeped out by it, but whatever.
No, it's kind of fun. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not there yet.
I just put it on like when I need to cook, and we just need him to kind of sit still while I'm cooking or whatever.
Absolutely. And like my little guy's not there yet, where like you can put something on in order to distract him. Right now it's more like put him in front of his toys or give him a teething cracker, and then he's distracted.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Kev. FMK.
Yeah.
You don't know what's coming.
No idea what's
We're
coming.
We're going to call this one the Urge.
The
Urge.
Not the Purge.
The Urge. The athletic training Urge.
I need it.
You're going to be doing...
spell urge for a second.
You're going to be doing an eval, or you're going to be doing a treatment.
All right.
Or you're going to be covering an event when the Urge, you got to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
You got to go. You're like, holy shit, I got to go.
Eval, treatment,
coverage when it hits you. You're like, shit.
Practice or a game?
It's a game.
All right. A little different in my world, but only from the standpoint of like...
In your current world or your like traditional role?
Like my traditional world. Like the first time I eval somebody, my initial assessment, it's like the first time I'm meeting them.
Yeah.
And so if I'm like, hey, I got to go poop. That'd be a tough one.
What if it's just you got to go pee? Would you be fine saying that? I got to take a leak. I'll be right back.
I probably would be like, hey, I just got to grab something real quick. I'll be right back. And just hope to God that it's not like the longest pee of all time. I got no Austin Powers in me. Oh my God, when is that?
The Blippi Arizona Diamondback?
Yeah.
He literally they've got him on one of the bullpen carts.
Yeah.
And he's like, I gotta go find Dr. Evil. I'll be right back. And he does the back up, forward, backwards thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Interesting.
If you catch it.
All right. I'm gonna marry Oh, my God. I'm going to marry the game.
Oh.
Reason being, if it's a game, now, this is not in every scenario or every setting, but anytime I've ever been involved with a game, there was another athletic trainer with the other team. And so if something serious happens that I have to be there or can't be there, there's going to at least be another athletic trainer. It's a really bad choice because what if something not serious happens? I got to go run on the field with the coach. But I'm still going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm going to F the treatment. Just gets me out of a treatment for a little bit. Feels a little good to do some bad things. And then that means I'm going to kill the eval. I don't like losing my train of thought.
Well, that was the first thing I thought of. That's the one where you're like, all right, I got to start over. Where was I?
100%. You know, I always think about this, like when I hate my patients coming to the clinic, and let's say I'm in between patients and I should go use the bathroom right now. And then I open the bathroom door, like leaving the bathroom, and then like my patient is coming in to use the bathroom. I think that's one of the most awkward situations of all time. It's like, you know my hands were in places.
Well, that's what I was just going to think. In terms of treatment, that's the one you don't want to, you have to use your hands.
So on eval too.
Not always.
What do you mean? How are you evaling without?
Well, for me right now, all my evals are just like quick histories and like, all right, I got it.
True.
You got arthritis too. So, another case of.
Oh, your hip hurts? All right, cool.
Yeah. All right.
How old are you? Have you got an X-ray?
74 with hip pain, real original.
Real original, people.
But no, so like the whole.
Which, by the way, do you guys do walk-in exam, like physical exams, like for athletes?
No.
No.
No. They got a schedule with one of the non-ops.
Ah, gotcha.
With like a Dr. Young or
somebody was
Dr.
asking
Kobayashi. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, maybe.
No, but you can call and schedule one, and it shouldn't take. I mean, they should be able to get you in pretty quick.
No.
Okay, so coverage is probably the biggest no-no.
Did you say Dr. Kobayashi?
Yeah.
Like the guy that eats the hot dogs?
No, she.
Oh, like
Yuka Kobayashi.
She eats all the hot dogs?
No.
How many hot dogs can she eat? Oh my God, how many times has she heard that?
Kyle said, marry the eval, F the treatment, kill the game. Don't ever want to ever work a game with the case of the hot snakes.
I will say, you push it to the limit during the game.
That's probably
other scenarios you might not.
The biggest, it's probably the most frowned upon, but I think you got to do it. It's just the most inevitable during the game. And for me, I'll dabble just because I need a little break from it. To break it up, like, oh shit, third inning, let me go. All right, sixth inning, I'll go again. I'll try and get 2 in there just to break this thing up.
I'll be right back. I got a turtle head poking out.
And it's kind of like a fun challenge to see, can I get down and back by the time the first pitch of the next inning?
Oh God, if you
so
can.
I'll turn it into a little bit of a game.
If you can,
I would.
That means there's way too much time in between innings.
Yeah.
Pitch clock.
I was just thinking about that. I want to ask Dave what his thoughts are on the speeding up of the game.
He loves it.
Well, everyone loves it in terms of the game, but like now we got pitchers who need cardiovascular endurance, and is it going to lead to more injuries? Is there any chance it leads to more injuries because you're not
for the young men that are under the tutelage of Dave Yeager, because he will tell you flat out, listen, people, baseball pitchers. It's more of an anaerobic exercise than it is an aerobic exercise. So what are you doing running 5 miles all the time?
I agree with that 100%.
Dave's been on top of this heart rate variability stuff for years.
All right. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to make it fun going during the coverage. I'll make it fun. So I'm going to F with that.
Oh.
I want to see how far I can push the limits.
Ooh, physically.
Physically.
You shouldn't push though. Leads to other complications.
So I'll marry.
Yeah. Do you have a squatty potty or not? How about that? That changes everything.
I have to kill the eval too. I can't marry treatment because the wet hands doing the treatments are the most hands-on one.
The wet hands.
Well, you're gonna wash your hands when you're done.
Well, sure you did. I bet you got pee all over your hands, Chad.
Yeah, it's just a little awkward having to explain yourself.
Explain yourself.
Like, but there is like just that little like, oh God. Yeah, I'll marry the treatment. I'll kill the eval. Or actually, you know what? Take that back. I'll marry the eval because maybe I do need to step away for a split second, think about what I've learned, and then reapproach. It's kind of like a police officer in an interrogation. They step out, they come back in. So I'll take that. I'll go get that coffee break.
Come back
in.
Playing bad cop.
Yeah. All right, now I'm fucking sick of this. Tell me the truth how you hurt yourself. So I'll marry that and I'll kill the treatment. Even though I really wouldn't. So, all right. I think we're going to get into our feature topic here. You ready for it? Go. All right. Before we get into the feature topic, we are going to thank and highlight our newest sponsor, R-Bar. So R-Bar Energy, it's rbarenergy.com.
rbarenergy.com.
They're a snack company. They make bars. They make health bars.
Yeah, they do.
And they've got 5 flavors, I believe. Kevin's got the website pulled up. And so
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco.
So what we got? We got peanut butter.
So we got a chocolate peanut butter. We got a coconut almond, honey nut peanut, a cranberry cashew, and then your classic peanut butter and jelly.
Which is the one I had.
Yeah.
You had them here in the clinic, and they're damn near gone.
Yeah, everybody loved them.
So they obviously taste good because you got other products on the shelf that aren't gone, but the R bars are all gone.
For the most part, I mean, I'm telling you, they are really good, and like the coolest thing is when you
healthy.
Well, like legitimately, you look at the ingredients list and you're like, oh, I know what all those things are.
Yeah, it's simple. Brian started. He was running like marathons or he was a biker. He was like doing all these extreme like long distance biking, and he wanted to he literally made bars for like 2 years,
right?
Pressed them together,
and
he was just like using super simple ingredients, and people loved him, so he like stuck with it.
I guess this is something.
So here's what we've got.
Yeah.
One, he's got a good product. If you are a member of the Candid Athletic Training podcast, if you're one of our members, you are entitled to 30% off anything they sell. 30% off. We will send you the email and the link with the special code for 30% off anything R-Bar. Don't they also have a variety pack?
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Furthermore, so make sure to check them out at rbarenergy.com. If you're a member,
30% off.
30% off. If you need something for your kit, if you're tired of candy. I mean, clearly Kevin and I love candy, but I would have a bar all the time. There was days where that was my lunch. We had the top 5 a couple weeks ago. It's like, how many meals did you miss? Yeah. Well, if I included bars, I didn't miss many because I always had something like that available, and we're super excited to be working with them. They're good. That's all I'm going to say.
And I mean, they're like these small little bars packed with, I don't know, like 150, 180 calories of just like cranberries and
healthy,
like
nuts.
Like, oh my God.
A lot of them are actually gluten-free, which was important to me. Now I will say
dairy and gluten-free.
I
think all of them.
But if you have a nut allergy, I think that's one that we're not going to be able to get by.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, for a bar.
But that's okay.
Bar.
Cranberry cashew. I was like, oh my God.
Also,
I'm in heaven.
Also, they are giving us 3 boxes a month. 3 boxes every month to give away. So we'll do something similar to what we are doing with Human Kinetics. We'll just pick one of our members every month, and we'll send you 3 free boxes of bars. Yeah. Or we can give away 1 box 3 times a month. I don't know. Kevin and I will.
We might even make a social media game about it.
Yeah, but you got to be a member.
You got to be a member.
So members only get the discount for 30% off. Members only jackets. Eligible for the
what?
Members only jackets. Yeah. Members only to be eligible to win free food because we appreciate our members.
Correct. So I mean, it's just we're trying to, get you guys a bunch of stuff and to say not only thank you for being a member, but also get you things that are useful for your life.
Yeah, something that you can use in everyday life.
You got that little, and you got that little box hanging out in your desk or in your bag, and then everybody's like, what is that?
Hell, maybe you use it at work, maybe you don't. Maybe you are working out on the weekend, or maybe you're going, maybe after bar. I don't know, whatever you want,
Sure.
A bar, here you go. R bar for A bar.
Ooh. And I think Candid Bar. Candy bar.
It's a funny play on words.
Yes,
it's like a candy bar, but it's a candid one.
Yeah, so true.
It's our bar.
So true.
So, just make sure if you're not a member of the show, become a member of the show, and just another perk. So, so for our feature topic, we want to get back to some basics here. We're going to talk a little rehab. We wanted to give a couple cues. We're going to go back to the very basics. Kevin and I are each going to pick out 2 very specific cues that we use quite often when doing a rehab that, if you've been around, maybe this is going to be repetitive or redundant information, something you've already known. Maybe if you're a student listening to us or you're a newer athletic trainer, maybe it's something you can learn and implement in your next rehabs. And we're just here to help. So
I think we also need reminders.
For sure. You want to go?
Sure.
Go ahead. Why don't you give your first one?
Core.
What? Who needs core?
Core. Number 1, anything can be turned into a core exercise if you do it right. So my cue for my patients, my athletes, what is core activation, right? Well, one way to do it is just slap them in the belly real quick and see what they do. Just hit them. And then you say, hey, all right, if I'm going to hit you again, what would you do to actually prevent that from hurting? I think you'd have to activate your core. You would brace, right? And I think it's a pretty solid way. The other way I talk about it, had a track coach. You're on the line to do your whatever 24th 400 of the day, and he would come by and he would poke me in the belly
in the gym.
And then so I see him out of the corner of my eye, and he's coming down, and I'm like, he's gonna poke me in the belly again. So what am I gonna do? I mean, okay, flex my core because that's what's gonna stop him. But now I'm shaking. I don't want to let him know that I'm flexing my core. How do I do this? And I just ever so slightly just draw my belly button back. And then I think about if somebody were to poke me in the side, how would I activate my core but not let anybody know that I was activating my core? Giving me this instant 6-pack. And then you know what? Yeah, I feel good. I feel strong. Well, that's how you activate your core. That's my number
Excellent. 1. One of my favorite cues is on the bridge. The glute bridge.
Oh, the glute
so
bridge.
When you're on your back and your knees are bent to 90. So I like to talk a little bit about how to cue. What are you trying to influence? So if you are at exactly 90 degrees, you are probably working equally your glutes and your hamstrings.
Get out the goniometer.
So if you bend your knees more than 90 degrees, so your heels are closer to you, you are going to influence your glutes more.
I can feel it.
And if you push your feet away past 90 degrees, so your knees are bent less than 90 degrees, you're influencing the hamstrings more.
I can
in
feel
that
it.
bridging. So I think that's a small little detail that maybe new athletic trainers might be useful. So look at the knee angle in a bridge and decide, do I want to work a little bit more glute activation or do I want a little bit more hamstring activation? And you can influence by changing foot position.
Yeah. Work them hammies. Get those burns. All right.
Give me one more.
So, two most complicated spots in the body for young athletic trainers, the hip, the shoulder.
For sure.
Let's just freaking simplify this a little bit, okay? Anytime you're doing a closed kinetic chain, closed chain exercise, closed chain rehab exercise, even if you're just freaking standing there, I want you to feel some external rotation at any four of those joints, okay? If you're standing,
ER.
I want you to externally rotate. So how do you externally rotate, you ask? Maybe just squeeze your butt together. You know, pinch a little pencil. Get a penny between those cheeks, okay? And then hold that while you squat down and then squat back up. All right? Now, what if I'm doing a plank? What if I'm doing a push-up? What if I'm doing anything with my hands on the ground? I want you to feel those hands, and I want you to screw them into the ground so that you feel some external rotation at your shoulder.
Close that jar.
Close the freaking jar so that you actually have stability in the joint capsule.
You know, that's one I don't do enough.
Oh,
the upper body one. I do the lower
So
body
many
one
people
all the
don't.
time when I'm doing exercises myself, but when I don't actively cue that myself enough on myself when I'm doing like push-ups or something.
and I will
So
say,
thank you.
I even do it when I'm like not closed chain with my shoulder, because then it glides down in the old socket, and then I free it from getting that impingement spot, and I'm using that joint capsule to create tension throughout.
Sounds like you got the urge right now.
Oh,
Macho
Jen,
man
I'll
over
be
here.
right back.
You good?
Yeah, good.
My last cue is going to be make sure you are really focusing on your patient's big toe when you're doing a straight leg raise on post-surgery. So you got them doing SLRs. You really want to just tell them, hey, I want you to think about your big toe. Get that thing pointed back towards you. Lock that ankle. If your toe is up as fully pointed back towards your head as you can, your ankle is going to be locked, your knee is going to be locked. You're going to have no lag when you do that straight leg raise. So I think it's really important to focus on the toe, even though we're doing something for our knee. Get that neural connection. Stiffen the whole thing right up.
Stiffen the neurons.
So
get it all stiff. I got not some cues, but just for our young athletic trainers out there.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the recovery. Okay? It's not always go in your rehabs. Sometimes you need that recovery day. And literally, don't forget about posture.
Very good.
Don't be afraid to correct people. Like, correct people. That's what you're there for. Don't just watch your athletes do rehab and not do corrections.
Very fun. Super. Yeah. I hope that is helpful. We haven't done enough of those. We need to go back to doing more like stuff like that. We want to put together some video, like a video library of our favorite rehab exercises. Maybe we keep that for the members, stuff like that. I think we got a lot of fun things behind the scenes that we can do. So, very fun show, Kevin.
Absolutely, as always.
First off, thanks to our newest sponsor, R-Bar Energy. Make sure you check them out, rbarenergy.com.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to Smart Tools, smarttoolsplus.com, 10% off anything with the code CANDID10. Human Kinetics, Candid CEU. Check out Athletic Trainer Insurance Plus.
8 tips.
Become a member of our show to get the lowest in professional liability insurance based on your category And as always, thanks to Healthy Roster, the official sponsor of Candid Athletic Training. So
appreciate yous.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Get your fat brackets.
Yeah. So CandidAthleticTraining.com, download fat brackets, send fat brackets to everybody. And then email them back to us. Just little reminders. Write the names of who you want to advance, not the numbers. Number 2, as much as you can, just take a picture of just the bracket. Unless something funny is going on in the background, I don't really want to see anything else. Other than that, just send them in to us. Got any questions? Holler at us. Got any topic suggestions? Holler at us. Otherwise, have a great night.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.